I had a one-on-one mentorship call earlier today, and one of the questions that I was asked from this person was, how do you know when you're seeing the signs that God wants you to see? Or how do you know that you're actually plugged into the source and not to the simulation instead of, being a part of the simulator, so to speak, right? And this person also asked more specifically, like, how do you know that you are on the right path? How do you know that the signs that you're seeing are the signs that you know are from God? It's like, well, what I can say now that I've pondered that throughout the day a little bit more, the answer that I gave him in real time was how you can see the way in which God reveals certain things about maybe certain people or just the energy that you feel. Do you feel elevated when you come away from these kinds of people, or do you feel more depleted? Do you feel like maybe not high, like you don't feel high around these people, but you feel like steadiness, right? And do you feel a sense of understanding? Like, do you have a sense of things making sense and things lining up in your life to where maybe they're not meaningful to other people, but to you they're extremely meaningful, like because they make complete sense. They make complete sense for you and what you've experienced, and that's really all that you need, right? You don't need somebody else to tell you that this is making sense. And now that I'm thinking about it, even more, it's kind of like when we're plugged into the source of creation, which is God himself, right? So when we're plugged into God himself and we are not plugged into the matrix or the simulation, we are part of the simulator, we are able to give more. Because have you ever noticed that sometimes when you're in that flow state, people call it a flow state, that things just kind of happen for you? Like, life starts to happen for you instead of to you, right? And it's like you just start to get these random ideas or these random inspirations that aren't so random, but are actually just you calibrating to the state of the universe. Like, there's a proverb in one of the Eastern religions that says something like how, I think it's the Tao Te Ching actually, where it says something like, when you're in harmony with the universe, like the universe is in harmony with you, and you're going to become like a mirror to the universe, and the universe will become a mirror to you. And a lot of people will like think about this a little too deeply, and it's not exactly what it's saying. Like, what it's saying is not like the world is your mirror or the world is your oyster per se, but what it's saying is like, when you help somebody or when you are sharing something, whether it's compassion, whether it's joy, any kind of positivity, what you're really sharing is something with yourself. And it's not because you're selfish, okay? I don't even really buy the term selfish anyway. A lot of people think that the term selfish is negative. I don't think that the term selfish is negative. And the reason being is because to be selfish just means that you're acting as who you're meant to be. Not how you think you're supposed to be or how you want to be. Because there's a lot of people that will be like, well, this is just who I am. It's like, okay, well, maybe who you just are isn't actually who God wants you to be. Have you ever considered that? I mean, this is something that you just know. It's a knowing. You don't need to question whether or not you're actually aligned with yourself. And I think, there's a lot of the people that will be very, like David Goggins is a good example, okay? I love David Goggins. That man helped me out of some really hard times. But like, I guess the only thing that I really have is he gets fueled by hatred, right? He gets fueled by, and I don't think that's a bad thing by any stretch, but it's like isn't there a better way to be inspired than by people's hatred for you? Like, isn't that kind of weird? Like, when you think about it, right? It's kind of strange to like get inspired by people's hate for you. That's really masochistic to some degree, right? And I don't know how healthy that is at the end of the day. Like, David Goggins has done amazing things, and I don't want to knock him as a person because, again, he has helped me out of some crazy times in my own life. And he was like a big brother to me. Like, even though I've never met the guy, many ways he was a big brother that gave me that extra little tough love that I needed. And that I know that I needed, right? Because at the time, the only thing that I knew throughout most of my life was tough love. That was the only kind of love I've got growing up. And it wasn't until the last few years when I could start to be a little bit more of I could have this stoic gentleness curated into my being. I can afford to be gentle now. I can afford to not be the macho guy all the time. Now, do I still want to be that godlike savage? Absolutely. Like, when I'm in the gym, I'm that godlike savage where that's what I'm training for. You know, I'll be in the gym and I'll be hitting like a new PR, for example, and I'll be like, you know, my soul's among lions, you know, because I don't know, there's just those little nuggets of spiritual inspiration just appear, you know, and you'll start to think about it. And the Bible really inspires me too. Like, just reading through the Bible, I'll have a verse in mind while I'm running on the treadmill or I'm lifting weights. I know that might sound weird to some people, but that's who I am. And the thing is like, when you learn how to give this kind of inspiration in a healthy way, like, you don't need people's hate to fuel you. You can get fuel by sharing love and compassion and peace and joy. That's like a game changer. Okay, that's a game changer for your whole life. And I know for a fact I would not have the opportunities I would today if I didn't just start to set up, you know, my laptop. This is on my phone that I'm filming this now, but when I first started my YouTube channel, if you go back and look at my older videos, it was my old laptop webcam with my microphone. All that I knew at the time was God was pushing me to say some things, and I had some things to say, but I didn't really know if I wanted to say them for the public to see. I didn't really know if I wanted to be judged in that way. I didn't know if I wanted to be famous. I didn't know if I didn't know a lot of things would happen. You know, I didn't know what would happen. I didn't know what wouldn't happen. I was just very on the fence about it, but God kept pushing me toward this. And maybe I'll explain a little bit more in another video. I've talked about it before, a long time ago, of what happened exactly, but, you know, God was just pushing me toward this, and I kept seeing little signs, right? Going back to the signs, how to tell if you're on the right path. God will give you the signs, and you won't miss them. Like, you really won't, because you'll be channeled in. Your body's a vessel. You'll be channeled in. And so when you look at my old videos, I literally just had a microphone and my old laptop video camera. That was it. And I just had some things to say. And so I did, and I said them, and, you know, here we are now, 2.5, 3 years almost later, 3 years in October this year, where I finally started to get more consistent. And look at the progress, you know, look at the things that I've done, look at the things that I wouldn't necessarily say accomplished, but it's like, because I don't know. Does anybody else feel like glory is short-lived? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just do what I do because God tells me to. Like, I'm just obedient to God. And I may not understand it myself, but the Bible also says, lean not on your own understanding, but on God's, right? Like, keep the understanding of God first. So, and have fear of the Lord. I think this is another thing, like, it's so negative to view the fear of the Lord as a bad thing. Like, oh, you have to fear the Lord. Oh, you got to fear the Lord. And yeah, it's like, yeah, you do need to fear the Lord, but it's not for the reason you think. Okay, the reason that you fear the Lord is because you know what's going to happen to you if you don't fear God. You know what's going to happen to you if you don't have God. This is where the creme de la creme of life really blossoms, okay? And so, like, what I've noticed with people is they're so focused on, like, having people take things from them, or, oh, what if they do this to me, or what if they do that to me? It's like, have the mindset that you are so full of abundance, you are so full of life and vitality and vigor and zest, that even if they did, it's not going to affect you, because you know God's going to provide. Seek first the kingdom of God, and all things will be added unto you. This applies to like every single possible life aspect of yourself. But you have to learn how to give. Sharing your positivity makes you so beautiful as a person. I encourage everybody to share their positivity. It makes you so beautiful, and it enhances your beauty as a person. Because so many people want to be, if they want clout or they want to say something provocative, like this is something David Goggins does, for example. Going back to the David Goggins example, he's very provocative. Says a lot of swearing and such, and I don't really think that's like, I don't care. Me personally, I don't care. But I know that, like, it makes no difference to me how people say whatever they say. But at the same time, if you want to reach a certain kind of demographic of people and you want to bring people together, that's not always going to be the way. Like, it's not always going to be the way. And yes, like David Goggins will say, oh, I'm just too real for these people. Okay, I don't know if that's exactly what he'll say, but some people have this mindset of like, oh, I'm just too real. And it's like, well, yeah, you are, but at the same time, you're not trying to like meet them where they're at, to be fair. You're not trying to meet them where they are. And sometimes if you want to meet somebody where they are, you have to show them some love. You have to show them some compassion. Like, that's just, and it might be hard for you to do, because you might think that these people don't deserve it. Subconsciously, you might think that. Maybe you don't want to admit that to yourself, but I know in the past I've thought this. I've like, how do I love my enemies? I don't really know how to love my enemies. This is really, really challenging. I really don't know how to love my enemies, God. I really don't. Because it seems like all these haters just, like they just can't stand me winning. Like, they just can't stand me winning. And it's like, I want to share the pieces of the pie with them, but they don't want to do the work to get to the table. It's like, if you just got to the table, I'll feed you. I have spiritual food I will give you. But like, what are you doing, man? Like, why are you not trying to work? And that was the wrong mindset to have for me. Like, that was the wrong question to ask. The question to ask in those kinds of scenarios is, how can I give to this person to help them grow closer to God? Truly, okay? Not just trying to make it about me and what I'm feeling in the situation, but looking at, like, having true compassion is being able to put yourself in another person's shoes while realizing that they have their own limitations and so do you. And that's a rough pill to swallow for some people. That's a really rough pill to swallow. I know, because I've been there. But at the same time, you have to have a sense of maturity. You have to have like the sense of, I'm giving because I want to. I'm giving because I think it's the most beautiful thing to do in this situation. I'm giving because I want to choose peace and love above all other options. I'm giving because I want to, and I have something to give. I'm giving because, not just because it makes me beautiful, because it does. I'm giving because it makes them beautiful too. Now they have something that hopefully they can do something with. And even if they don't do something, like, I've been upset in the past, and we talked about this a little bit in the Regal Change Academy group that we have. like we talked about this in the past in the Regal Assembly calls, where like we don't give to homeless people anymore. We don't give money to homeless people, that is. And it's like, I was thinking about that recently, and I was thinking to myself, I mean, there's nothing wrong with really like helping people out, but I don't think anybody needs to like, I don't know how to say this appropriately. Like, money is going to solve a lot of problems. Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. Money is going to solve a lot of issues. And it can solve a lot of issues. But somebody like that, it's not going to be like money that's going to help them. Maybe the next time you see a homeless person, ask them if they have a resume or something. I don't know. Ask them like what kind of food they have. Like maybe they're just looking for somebody, and maybe they're not, maybe they're not, but maybe there's one homeless person out there that if they just had somebody to guide them, to be willing to guide them, even just like point in the direction. They don't even have to show them the path. It's just like, hey, if you go that way, you're going to find this trail. It doesn't even need to be much, but if you really like, where are you trying to go? Ask the homeless person, where are you trying to go? Like, what are you trying to do? Because if they're just trying to get to their next meal, maybe a banana or an apple or whatever the case may be, a rotisserie chicken, I don't know. Maybe that would be more useful. Because money is not going to solve the issue. A lot of the times, homeless people will, in my experience, they just take the money to go do drugs. Okay, and I don't want to fund that, right? I don't want to fund that. So maybe ask them what they're trying to do and where they're trying to go. I don't know, just a thought. You don't have to do this, of course. And I've never done it myself, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Like, I've never actually asked a homeless person, like, hey, where are you trying to go exactly? Like, what are you trying to do with your life right now? Maybe I will next time I see a homeless person, I don't know. But I'm just giving this as an example. Because, again, this is like the random thoughts that are just coming to my mind. Like, I'm just channeling right now. This is just me channeling into God. Like, I'm not thinking about these things all the time. It's just kind of a thought here and there, and then through my videos, sometimes I'll just extrapolate and expand on it. So I don't know. It's just kind of the way things work and the way things are with me. But I hope that this video was useful and insightful for you. I encourage you all to share your positive energy. Don't let this ugly world distract you from your inner beauty. All right? So with all that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. If you do want to sign up for a free 15-minute call for the Regal Change Academy and you want to just get to know a little bit more about it, check out the link in the description box below. And if you want to sign up for a one-on-one mentorship or for the Godlike Mastery Initiation program, you can check those out in the links in the description box below as well. And with all that being said, peace be with you. Until next time.